This is the fourth video in the series PowerPoint Functions for Creating a Professional Conference Poster. In this video, I will cover formatting text and alignment. The functions I am going to show you for formatting text in PowerPoint are the same as those in Word. So I have copied and pasted some content into a text box, and we're going to use the column and heading that we created in a previous video. The first thing I'm going to do is to resize my text. So for the body text, I'm going to make it 32 point. This is a good average size for text to be read from a distance. Then I'm going to resize my text box to an approximate size and lay it over top of my column. And I'm also going to resize the heading to 44 point. Again, this is a good average size for a heading. Because I've changed the size of the heading, I also need to now change the size of the bar behind the heading to make it more proportionate. So I'm going to shorten it. There we go. And I'm going to reposition my text box and resize it. The next thing I want to do is to create some bullets. So I'm going to start by highlighting the text that I want bulleted and clicking on the bullet icon in the main menu bar. As you can see, bullets have been created, but the text is still not well aligned for two reasons. First, the bullet is too close to the text. And second, for longer lines, the text wraps around but sits under the bullet instead of being aligned with the rest of the text. So I'm going to change this, and I'm going to do this by adjusting the markers in the ruler. The bottom triangular marker controls the text, and the top triangular marker controls the bullet. The small rectangle at the base moves both of the markers at once. To adjust the text, I'm going to move the bottom triangular marker over a few notches. Now you can see there's a healthy amount of space between the bullet and the text. I also want to indent the bulleted text so it stands out from the paragraph above. So I'm going to grab the rectangle at the base and move it over. You can see that both the bullets and the text moved as a unit and are now indented. Play with the markers so that you understand what they are doing and how they affect the formatting of your text. Next, let's look at line spacing. I don't want to go into a lot of detail, but knowing a few tricks on how to create more space between your lines of text can be extremely helpful in making your poster easier to read. First, I would like to create more space between the bulleted lines, but not a full space. So, with the bulleted text highlighted, select Format and Paragraph. In the Paragraph window, under Spacing, change the before and after fields to 6 points. And click OK. This means that you are creating a space of 6 points before and after each paragraph, and a bulleted line is considered a paragraph. You can see that the space between the bulleted lines has opened up and it's easier to read. You can also create more space between lines of text in a paragraph. Many of you are familiar with double spacing. Well, you can refine your spacing even more. So highlight the text you wish to format and click on Format and Paragraph. And this time in the paragraph window, under line spacing, select Multiple. Then input the amount of spacing you would like. So for this example, I am going to make the spacing between my lines 1.25 and click OK. As you can see, it has opened up the spacing between the lines slightly, making it easier to read. Play with this function and see what works best for your content. In some cases, you may want more space or less space. It is helpful to create separate text boxes for the various chunks of information so that you have the greatest degree of flexibility for positioning. And lastly, I want to align my text. So I'm going to create another guideline that's going to run down the center of my column so that I can center objects if I want to. I highlight the column, click on a guideline, and press Option, and drag it to the center of the column. My two side guidelines, I'm going to move to the edge of my text. You can also create new guidelines to do this. So you can see that the guide runs along the body of my text. So I'm also now going to align the text of the header with the body text. So using my arrow keys, I'm going to move the heading over so that it's justified to the right, along with the text. Now I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to center the image. So click on the image, and again you can use your arrow keys or click and drag and move the picture so that it aligns with the center guideline. Then I'm going to move my caption so that it sits right underneath the image and move it incrementally with the arrow keys. And finally, for the last body of text, I'm going to click on it and I'm going to drag the nodes out to the edge so that they are flush with the guidelines. You can see that all of the objects are now aligned, which will make it much easier for the reader to follow.